Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? This is Amanda from The Haunted and the Strange, and you're listening to Kevin on Where the Weird Ones Are.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with Erin. She is a member of Patriot Paranormal. Lovely lady. Absolutely enjoyed talking to her. She's quickly becoming a really good friend, so I'm here for it and I love it. But yeah, go show Patriot Paranormal on Instagram some love. She is starting a new podcast, so go check that out. She'll tell you what it's called in the episode because I forgot. So listen out for that and check that out. I believe she's dropping literally, I think she's starting the podcast literally today. I believe. I think the first episode comes. So, anyways, yeah, go check out her social. Again, Patriot Paranormal, and then I'm sure you can you'll be able to find her her podcast. But man, it's such a great conversation. She has, like premonitional dreams and visions and stuff like that, which is fascinating. And then we talk about, kind of today society and stuff like that. So, um, anyways, 14 Fest is coming up pretty fucking quick. It's June 8th, right here in Sanford, Maine, at the Memorial Gym. So if you are interested in buying tickets, go to Facebook, 14 Fest. That's with a T, not a D. FORTEAN Fest. And you can get your tickets there. And if you can't find it, reach out to Paranormal 5 and they'll help you out. So I'll be vending. I just recently created my third flavor hot sauce, so I will have all three flavors at this event. So again, that's 14 Fest right here in Sanford, Maine, June 8th, Memorial Gym. So if you're interested, come say hi. Would love to see you. Love to chat with you. Also, if you would like some garlic, some raw garlic dust, please go over to flavorsforest.com. You can buy some, have it shipped straight to you. And now this is raw as raw gets, and it's fucking good and it's very tasty. It's in 2 of the hot sauces now. So the newest addition to the hot sauce, to the weird sauce, is green apple. So it's green apple hot sauce. There's garlic in it. There's ginger in it. There's cinnamon in it. There's nutmeg in it. There's fucking apples and fucking jalapenos. And it's so good. I was so impressed with myself when I freaking tasted it after I made it, and I grab a spoonful and I put it in my mouth, and it's like apple and tarty and cinnamony, and I mean not like overwhelmingly cinnamon. It's a hint of cinnamon. And then right after that, it's like within seconds, and then all of a sudden the heat is there, and oh my god, oh my god, it's so delish. I'm super impressed with myself, and I'm gonna toot my own horn, toot. But yeah, flavorsforce.com for raw garlic. They also have a spicy version of the raw garlic, Bigfoot breath. So go show them some love. And yeah, it's really yummy. It's really yummy. I put it on everything: steak, eggs, my chicken, my burgers, my soups. Dude, I put it in fucking almost everything. I mean, I even put it in my hot sauce. So it, you know, it draw it's a spice that helps spicy, if you know what I mean. Um, I don't really know how to explain it, but it it's good shit. You should definitely go check them out. But let's see. Other than that, I think that's it. So, please like, follow, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or the website, or say hi on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, or or don't. It's all good in the hood. However you feel like doing you, just do you. The website is where the weird ones are podcast.com. You can leave a rating and review on there. You can get to the merch on there. And yeah, hopefully next week I should have the hot sauce on the website. Looking into, the exact kind of packaging, and if I want to do my own labels, which is probably going to be the better version. And I might even like just have custom made fucking boxes, you know, but I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, so there's that. And if you're interested in the Patreon, it's patreon.com/weirdos only. You get a free coffee mug, and 2 segments of the show, which is Conspiracy Tuesdays and Story Time. There is a new Story Time coming out this Sunday, and it features Heather and Rachel from Like Mother Like Murder, and I tell them a murder mystery that keeps them on the edge of their seat. So it's multiple suspects, and the theories, we talk about theories, what they think, who they think it is, and yeah. So it's a good one, I think. Number one, because it's the girls from Like Mother Like Murder. They're amazing. So if you haven't checked out their podcast, please do so. And yeah, you get if I didn't say it already, you get a free coffee mug and early access to the show. But if you don't feel like joining the Patreon to support me in that way, a like, a follow, a share is totally fine. A download, even just listening, is support enough. It helps with the algorithm. So, but the Patreon is $5 a month, inexpensive, um, just almost the price of a coffee. I mean, coffee is like three something or $4 or something like that, depending. But anywho, I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys do too. Erin's amazing, love her to death. Um, why don't we get into it, shall we?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
Everybody, how's it going? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I know that I can hear you telepathically asking me how I was as well. But today we have, is it EJ? Do I call you EJ or do you want to be called Erin?
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want as long as it's halfway kind. But yeah, Erin's fine.
All right, so I have Erin from Patriot Paranormal. How's it going?
It is fantastic. How are you?
I am great. I did not get to the gym today, but as I have learned, neither have you. So
Yeah,
we're both in the same boat.
yeah.
Different for you than it is for me, but you know, it is what it is. So if you don't mind letting everybody, the one or two people that listen to this show, a little bit about yourself and what it is you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. My name's Erin. I am one part of a three-person team. We are Patriot Paranormal. Uh, Not gonna lie, we stand behind our name because we're patriots and we love this country, and that's kind of how we found the name. We were with another team. I won't even go into detail because I'm not an asshole. But we decided to leave that team, and I was like, I'm gonna go do my own thing. At that point, I was like, I thought I was just gonna be like ghost hunting by myself, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life, like alone. And but then and then they were like, hey, we were gonna leave the team too. Do you want to form one? And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Of course, the lady who had the other team, she thought we conspired, and I'm like, no, that's just the way it worked out. And we decided we kept thinking of a name, but we're all pretty patriotic and we love our conspiracies and all that good shit. So we were like, yeah, how about Patriot Paranormal? And I was like, okay. And it just went from there. And we have been together for about a year now, and we've been to so many locations, and we have so many more coming up. Yeah. So that's what we do.
Awesome.
We just go. We don't want to be famous or nothing like that. Like, I just do not have the stamina at 51 years old to freaking do that. Like, yeah. We do like maybe 2-3 times a month, and I am exhausted from that. I'm like, yeah. Takes me about 3 days to recover. So, I'm like, my mind thinks I'm 20, and my body's like, yeah, fuck you. Dude, you're 51 now. You need sleep. So we don't want to be famous or anything. We just, the reason why we do these podcasts and stuff like that is because we do want locations to contact us. And not the famous ones, because we're never going to have them invite us for free, but, our local. And so,
Yes. Yep.
And, come and check us out. Come and look at our museum, and we love that. We love history, and we want to keep history going. And so that's kind of why we do want our name out there,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love your logo too.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
It's like a silhouette up behind the American flag or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't know.
it's pretty neat. Yeah.
I don't know if you know how to do that, because I don't.
I don't. No.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, I can on StreamYard. I've learned how to do that. But, like, anything else, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't.
I mean, I probably could figure it out, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take the time.
No, because you probably end up accidentally boot me off, and I'll be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Kevin's
I
like,
will say though, because I'm sure, because you've gotten blurry on me once or twice. I'm sure I have gotten blurry on you in this time, but I just want you to know, like, it's not going to affect the recording or anything. Like, it's still going to turn out well.
Okay.
Just in case you were like, what the fuck? Like, this is going to look like shit. Or
no,
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, like, I keep moving trying to figure out this light. Like I said, I am, like, terrible at this shit. I am, like, you cannot ask me to do anything, like, with technology. I will fuck it up. Like, I mean, I just...
Well, speaking of fucking technology, I'm gonna fuck technology up. I'm gonna fuck that. I don't know how to do this. I'm a dinosaur. I look like I'm 38 and I'm freaking 51 years old, but I'm gonna fuck everything up. Speaking of technology, you're planning on starting your own podcast, correct?
Yes, I am. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I am actually going to do. I think it's different. I don't know. You'll have to tell me because you're the one that does the podcast, so you might know. But I was going to do something because everybody does all these paranormal ones, which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to do was it's called the Lighter Side of Paranormal podcast. And so I am going to just focus on the funny stuff that happens because there's always an investigation or something funny goes down. If it's not me scaring the shit out of myself, or we think there's something really major paranormal and then it turns out that it's just like some raccoons like dogging it up in the attic. You know what I mean? And like something always so funny. And that's a true story. and so, and so I just thought, instead of focusing on the darker side of it, I want to do something funny. And I'm a goofball. Like I can't help it. Like you can put me in the most serious situation and I'll friggin' start cracking up. And so this will be right up my alley because then I can just be my natural goofy ass self. And let other people have a lot of fun telling their side. Because again, I don't want to be famous, but I want to be supportive of all these other up and coming, kids that want to do this stuff. And there's always something so funny. And you always get like pervy ass ghosts, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, I've heard many of stories with pervy ghosts.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
this one woman that I had on, it was to the point where she got like super uncomfortable.
really, oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, it's like I always say, if you're one way in life, you're going to be like that in death. Because
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
personally haven't like come across anything like demonic or devil, nothing like that. But I have come across some major assholes in the afterlife. So extremely dark, extremely negative, extremely oppressive. But that's how they were in the living, and so that's how
Yep.
they were. And so you get the same with a ghost that was a prankster that was really funny. They're gonna kind of do that kind of stuff too in the afterlife, and so that does happen a lot. And so I thought this would be really fun, and hopefully, anyways, hopefully I get some good stories and some people
I'm
that
sure you
want
will.
to, come on and tell me some funny shit and, hilarious because most of our funny stuff is usually us scaring ourselves to death, and then we're just like, what the fuck? Like, you're supposed to be an investigator. Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, like
I've only
huh? I'm sorry.
I've only been on 2 investigations so far in my life, and I want to do more.
Oh, where'd you
Um,
go?
so the first one, my kids and I took vacation in Florida, in Miami specifically, and we met up with 305 Paranormal and Black Smoke
Oh,
Paranormal,
nice.
and they were doing an event in Davie, Florida, for War Party Paranormal. And War Party's like this huge group of, I want to say they said like there's like 100 people.
Oh my God.
Um, maybe I might be exaggerating that number, but I know it's a pretty big number. Um, so we went to this Davy. It was called the Davy School, and then they have these 2 houses that they took from somewhere that had to do like they were like the boss's houses or something like that. That
Right.
somebody had something to do with the school. They did this whole history thing on it, and I completely forget about it. Um, but I was in one of the houses, and I did my first ever Estes,
Oh,
and um, I they I got my shoulder touched, which watching back on the video, they asked for somebody to for spirit to touch my shoulder.
nice. Okay.
Um, but then there's this one spirit. It's a woman, and her name is Margaret, and she really likes this guy Joe. He goes by Joe Hunts Ghost on Instagram, and he does Flo Weirda podcast, where he talks about
That's awesome.
Florida and the weirdness of it. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I grew up in
so
Florida.
she, yeah, I guess she has a crush on Joe, and like right before he walked into the house, on the Estes it said "Daddy,"
Sorry.
And then
I'm trying to
and then
figure
he
this out.
walked in and it said daddy again.
Oh my god.
So
Okay.
that was pretty funny.
That's kind of creepy.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
how did you feel? So you being, and I apologize. I'm trying to sort this shit out again. I'm.
It's all right. It looks like a disco.
One day I'll know what to do. Otherwise, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
Is that
I'm
your
like,
ring
yeah,
light?
yes, and I suck at it, and I'm like, I don't. It's
That's
blinding the
perfect
shit
right
out of
there. That's
me.
a perfect
Okay,
light.
yeah, because it was blinding me so bad. I was like, oh my god, like, and I kept looking away, and I'm like, I want to look like I'm actually talking to you. But yeah, so what does it feel like then? So being that, that was your first time investigating and you're doing this Estes and then you get touched on the shoulder. That had to be pretty freaky.
Yeah. I was like, somebody's touching. Like I almost like took the blind off because I thought it was real, like a real person.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's
And I ended up putting my hand up here, and there was nobody there, and
wow.
it just ended up feeling like squeezing, just like somebody was sitting there going
Yeah, that's so
like
crazy.
almost kind of like a massage, like they were trying to massage my shoulder, but they were just squeezing the shit out of my
Right.
shoulder.
That's
So
that's neat. That I love stuff like that. I love it when it happens.
yeah, I mean, at the time it didn't bother me, but thinking about it, I was just like, that's fucking weird, actually.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
cool.
because there's nothing there and so you're like, how is this possible? You know? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I get touched a lot, mostly on my hair, and I think that's a lot to do with the fact that it's so short, and it's probably weird. Like if you're thinking about the time period, all that time ago, a lot of women didn't have short hair, and they're probably
Yeah.
just like, "What is that? Like, what's wrong with her?"
Is this a dude?
What's that? What's that? And she's buff. No, I'm joking. I'm not that buff. I'm, I'm not, honestly.
I
But
don't know. You got some freaking lats going on down there. I've seen some pictures.
yeah, I try. I really got to get back to it because I'm slacking so bad. I'm like, oh my god, there's a bingo incoming. Like, you got. I'm like, no bingo wings allowed. Yeah, I refuse to grow old gracefully. I'm not fucking doing it. Okay, I'm not
Yeah,
doing
no, I don't blame you.
it. No.
Uh, Gym's like my second home, or if not, it's my first home. You know?
Yeah, it needs to be my second home because I need to be more committed than what I have been lately. I've been a bit slack, and that's the funny thing about getting older. You really, for me, anyways, I'm just like, I don't want to do it. And so if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. And so I'm like, I don't want
Right.
to go. And so I'm like, I'm not going to go. And then, I start seeing like the belly change and things go. And I'm like, okay, yeah, never mind. I'm going. I'm like, yeah. It's like, I'm not, and not that I'm vain or anything like that. It's just that, I just understand the whole age thing, and it does change for women.
Yes.
We hit that menopause, we hit that age, and it just isn't like when I'm 20 and I just had this great body and it's just, I can eat what I want. It just doesn't work like that when you get older. And so I need to take care of myself. And not only that, but your health. You start realizing like, holy shit, like I'm literally halfway through my life if I make it to 100,
Yeah.
And it just starts really, you start understanding that, yeah, things are changing and I need to do the best I can do because I was given this body and I'm grateful for it and I'm healthy and I need to take care of it. So that's
Absolutely.
more, and mental health too. My God, I'm so much
Yes, mental
stronger.
health is very important.
And when I go to the gym, I'm so much stronger mentally. It's just like that outlet, And
Yeah.
when I had my labs back from my doctor, and she said, "Oh my God, your cholesterol is like that of a 20-year-old, and that's from the gym." And I was like, "Yay!" And she's like, "But your menopause level is like so." She's like, "How are you not murdering people?" And I was like, "Cause I throw weights." I was like, "Cause I go."
Or are you not murdering
Yeah, she
people?
was literally like, "Your levels are so high," and I was like, "Funny enough, at the gym we had slam ball today. Have you ever done slam ball?" I'm like, "I love slam ball." You get that ball and you're like, "Oh, sure," and then you leave and you're like, "I feel good. I don't want to hurt anybody. It's lovely."
Oh, did you see that butterfly?
Yeah, you're like. But anyhow, so what got you into this, Kevin? Like, what got you into doing the podcast?
Uh, well, technically, it was a friend of mine. He had his own podcast, and he had me on as a guest, and he stopped doing it after 42 episodes, and I think it was like time constraining for him. Like
Yeah,
it was just like I mean, it's a lot. Like it
yeah,
takes time to do it and stuff
yeah.
like that. But anyways, I went through like this really devastating breakup
Oh, I'm
in
sorry.
like 20 late 2020,
Hmm.
early 2021, amidst the thing that won't go away and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I don't want, I'm not going to blame that, like
Right,
being stuck in home together and stuff. I think it wouldn't have worked out regardless of,
right,
that situation.
right.
Um, but yeah, she broke my heart. And it was a really long time before like I even like started feeling okay, and like I
Mm.
was just doing like these like this stuff that was just not good for me
Yeah,
or any anything. And
right.
she kept trying to come back too, which was
Uh,
weird. I'm like, you don't like
yeah.
want me, but you want me. Like I can't, like I don't get this. Well, and I'm
Maybe
not
she didn't want
like she
anybody
didn't do
else.
anything on
Yeah,
purpose that
right,
I feel like,
right, right,
she was just, she was she would feel this way in one moment, feel another way in
right,
another, and she was
right.
acting on those emotions instead of, actually weighing consequences and
Logically,
stuff.
right,
Yeah. Right.
right, right. Gotcha.
Uh so I started like this spiritual journey in 2021, and I think I want to say it was probably January, February of 2022 when I was like had this epiphany. So I started listening to I used to think podcasts were fucking stupid. I was just like, who the
Right,
fuck wants to listen to random people talk about shit all day for like 2 hours? I don't want to do that. And I drive for a living technically. Like I was doing tree work, but we also drove trucks for a little
right.
bit. And then I went from tree work to um lumber, and I was in the truck for even longer because I would run a crane. So I'd run out to a job, and then I'd run a crane, and I just ended up keeping, and I was by myself all the time. So I ended up keeping headphones on, and I ended up listening to podcasts. And, I started
Right.
with Joe Rogan. Love Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Love the people that he has on,
Yeah.
even though like a lot of people he disagrees with or doesn't or whatever and stuff, like he still gives them a platform, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he's always open to new opinions and stuff and
Hmm.
people changing his mind on certain things. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I feel like that's a good way to be, just being open minded to
Absolutely.
conversations and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
then he's friends with Sam Tripoli. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
a, yeah. So he's another stand up comedian, and he has a podcast called Tinfoil Hat, which is all
Yes.
about conspiracies.
Yes. I
So I
love that
started
one.
listening to that religiously.
Right.
And then he had on Tony Merkel, who is the host of the Confessionals podcast. And that podcast is basically similar to what I do now. And that's what I kind of like based my platform off of. So it's just talking to people about their experiences with paranormal and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was listening. I think it was like on the third episode of his, like not literally his third episode, but just listening to him for the third time. And I was just like, I want to do a podcast. I want to talk to people about ghosts. I want to talk to people about cryptids and aliens and shit
Yeah.
and conspiracies. Even though,
Yeah.
like, I know Tony doesn't really get into conspiracies, although I know he is very conspiratorial.
Right.
He just doesn't let it come out too much in his show. But so I texted my buddy who has a podcast. He helped me get started. And he asked me what I was going to do it about, and I told him, and he's like, "Man, I wish I would have like picked something specific to do a podcast on, because his was like an open platform like Joe
Right.
Rogan. Like basically it was just he had it in his basement and was having people come to his house, and I was like, you should really consider doing like Zoom and shit, cuz I feel like you could get other guests that would be interesting as well that aren't in our area."
Right.
But he didn't. So yeah, I started April 27th of 2022 was the first episode I ever dropped, and it's been on ever since. Like, I mean, it was very slow at first,
Yeah.
but it was interesting because right after I started, the ex tried to come back and fucked with my head again.
Oh my god.
Um, so yeah, that was fun. And then
Oh,
I think October, like Halloween of 2022,
right.
I had my friend Lauren on, and then right after that, I had this white witch come on. Her name's Christina. She's a lovely lady. And then it's just been nonstop ever since.
Yeah.
And it's been one episode, and now it's 2 episodes a week. So, and
That's
sometimes it's 3 episodes because I do like this week specifically. I have Conspiracy Tuesday
yeah.
that just came out today. I have an episode that comes out tomorrow, and then an episode that comes out on Friday.
Oh
So
god, that's awesome. And I'm excited to come on to the Conspiracy Tuesday as well. I'm excited to really do that because, like I said to you before we started recording, I have been very quiet about it,
yeah,
um, because, you don't, it's hard to explain because on one hand, I don't give a fuck. But on the other
hmm
hand, you do, you want your audience, and but at the same time I'm like, but that's not fair that I just can't speak about stuff that I believe or want to just discuss,
hmm
and so I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna do my thing, be me, don't worry about it. If people don't want to, if they want to unfriend me or whatever, I'm like, go for it, because I've had that happen over the last 4 years so much that it's just like, what does it matter? If that's your shallowness, that's on you. That's not on me. I'm not responsible for your feelings. And I'm not responsible for you if I trigger you, because I say something. And so I just like, whatever, and like on my Instagram, it is strictly just pretty much paranormal. I don't really
yeah,
share anything, political or whatever. And it doesn't, and I don't really care, it's just like, again, I'm not looking to be famous. I'm just looking to have fun, really embrace this hobby that I do with my friends. And, I just kind of hid this side of me for so long. I've had experiences my whole life. I've had weird stuff go on my whole life, but I never shared it because when I did, people were just so like, you're so weird, there's something wrong with you, that I felt like so out of place that I just didn't share that anymore. So I just shut up, you know?
yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking 51, dude. Like, God knows how long I have left. I'm going to do what I want to do, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Good luck with your badass, but I'm going to go and just live my life and have fun. And so, and then the whole doing that podcast of the funny ghost stuff, that's just for fun. That's just to let other people come and share their funny stuff, because there's so much of it that happens. If it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not at a loss to anything. It's strictly, at this point in my life, I'm just doing fun stuff and what I want to do,
Yeah,
and just enjoy the
that's
time
what
we
you
have
should do.
left. Yeah.
Right. Right. As long as you're having fun and you're like content within yourself, like it shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks,
Yeah.
because what matters is how you feel about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
I love doing this podcast, and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't care to listen to it and that don't really like, they'll get turned off by certain things that I talk about. There'll
Right.
be a certain episode, maybe even like a conspiracy episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then people don't like, a lot of people don't like or agree with some of the conspiracy stuff. And that's
Yeah.
totally fine. I mean, just, you don't have to. And you don't have to
No.
listen to this podcast at all, because
Yeah.
I'm still going to do it. And there's a lot of
Exactly.
podcasts that start up with the idea that they're going to make money and that they're going
Right.
to have this huge following, and then
I,
after 10 episodes they're like, I'm not getting anything. I'm not going anywhere.
why doesn't
Like, I
anybody
can
watch my
almost like,
shit? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, I can almost guarantee you I had almost no listeners for almost probably for the first 100 episodes, maybe.
Right.
But I don't even really know because I don't pay attention to the numbers. Like, I just don't
Right.
care to know. And because the reason why I do this podcast is for the conversation, for the camaraderie.
Exactly.
Like, I love talking to people and making friends.
Yep.
Like, I've made so many fucking friends just
Yeah.
doing this,
And that's the important part. And then going back to what you said, like on a spiritual journey, I totally can relate to that, and sorry I keep wiping my eyes, they're like running like crazy. Good Lord.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gabrielle.
And we are the hosts of the Spiritual Sisters podcast.
Join us every week as we discuss all the spiritual topics like astrology, mediumship, psychic insights, and so much more.
We are often joined by others we have met along our spiritual journey who are well versed in many of these areas.
Get ready for enlightening discussions and interviews and personal experiences that we hope will expand your mind and get you thinking outside of the box.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just beginning your spiritual journey, there's something here for everyone.
Check us out every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts. See you then.
Bye.
Yeah, the weather's starting to turn here, and of course, we're starting to get everything's blooming, and I mean, I'm just yeah, and so I apologize to anybody who does watch it, shifting around, like.
They're like, what the hell is this lady keep touching her eyes for? What a fucking fruitcake.
I am a weirdo, it's okay. That's why I'm here, because I was like,
Absolutely.
I'm weird, can I be on your podcast, please? But so my eyes and my nose are just like going crazy, and then of course I have back issues, so I keep shifting because I have like the world's most uncomfortable chair. So
you gotta
maybe
get a
I
better
can get
chair,
a really
lady.
nice chair when I do my podcast. Yeah, that's what I need to make money for, so I can buy a fucking chair.
You want to know what's funny? I strain my lower back a lot, and it's mainly to do with work because I got a shovel, and shoveling sucks on your back.
Oh my god.
So there was this. So I was on a friend of mine's podcast. It's called Cryptid Cocktail Party, right? And he doesn't do video. He doesn't like put the video out on YouTube or anything.
Right.
He just does audio on Spotify and Apple and something else, I think.
Right.
So I had my back massager, right? And I had it sitting in the chair. So I'm sitting here talking to him, and I'm just going like this as I'm talking. And then he clips it and puts it on Instagram, and I was like, God damn it.
So you're like,
so we're fucking sitting there talking. I'm just like,
you're like, hey. I'd be horrified. Oh my god. And that's why I tell people about my back, because I'm shifting every 5 seconds. They're probably like, was she fucking on crack or something? No, I don't do drugs. Like, I don't drink and I don't do drugs, but yeah, this thing is not good for my back. So I'm in the same boat as you. I do CrossFit, but I do have to scale everything. I'm not allowed to deadlift. And for real, at my age though, like I can fucking sneeze and throw my back. I mean, it's like ridiculous. I stepped the wrong way and I'm like, and then like I can't walk for 2 days. I'm like, what the hell?
I was stretching like 2 weeks ago. I was fucking doing the not the downward dog, because you just you have your hand
upward or something.
Yeah, the upper part one, and you like just kind of like lift your head back. I did that stretch and I sat there for a minute. I do it every time I work out, especially when I do abs. And then so I'm stretching it, and then I'm coming down, and I just feel like this fucking random sharp pain right in my side of my abs, right next to my rib, and fucking I was just like, oh, and then I couldn't move for a second without it hurting, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm fucked. I'm stuck here. And then I slowly got back up to my feet, and then I slowly arched my back to see if that pain was there, and it was gone. I was like, oh, phew.
I know.
I thought I just pulled a fucking muscle in my abs. That would have been terrible.
Especially if you're like stuck there and you got to call somebody. You're like, please come and help me. And they're like, what did you do? I mean, honest to God, like so in our CrossFit class a couple of weeks ago, I was, and I have this issue, okay, where I'm super competitive. and I just cannot help myself. Like and we're very blessed. We have a really good CrossFit gym where we do levels. So like you can go anywhere from, white, yellow, orange, blue, purple, brown, black, blah blah blah. I'm usually always in between white and orange, because especially with my back. But I always try to level up if I can, and so like the day before I did the blue level, and I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm doing these toes to L's, and I'm doing all these burpees, yeah, I'm badass, blah blah blah. So then the next day I'm like, oh, I can do blue, yeah, sure, no problem. So I get this 20-inch box out. And I'm just going at it, and all of a sudden I step up, and oh my god, I felt that pain in the back that you were talking about, and it just went straight down. And I was like, oh my god, I'm in the middle of a WOD. Like everybody is like looked at me because I made this noise, and I was just like, and my coach is like, I was like, I need a smaller box. so like during the workout, he has to like bring me the 16-inch box. It was horrifying. And everybody's just like looking at me, and I'm like, just mind your business. Like, just leave me alone. And and so I did. I had to finish the workout completely scaled, and just like my coach was just like, because he always tries to tell me, but I never listen because, I just don't listen. And so, like, Friday's workout was a total shit show, and he told me flat out, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should do this. And I'm like, no, I got this. I'm good. I've been doing CrossFit 4 years. I know it's all good. Oh, my God. By the time we finished the workout, I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, man, I'm so embarrassed. So when I put my score down, I even put, that was a total shit show on my part. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm sorry, coach. I really should listen to you, but And he's like, oh, you'll do it again. I was like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I have like kind of sort of a similar story. I didn't hurt myself, but like the ego kind of thing that comes in, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I have a nutritionist. She's a phenomenal person. Highly recommend her for anybody, but so she's gonna be on the show just to talk about like nutrition and gym stuff at some point, and to like promote herself.
Yeah.
But so she's like, do like really lightweight for like 20 reps for a while, like just get your build up that muscle and build up that strength, because I've been having back. So the reason why I have back issues is from the years of tree work. I did tree work for like 10 years.
That's
and
hard,
picking up logs onto my shoulder and shit like that.
That's hard, intensive labor.
Yeah, and the chainsaw, like there's some of the chainsaws are huge, and I'm like having them above my head or just like holding them up against the tree and shit. But so that's mainly where the back pain has stemmed from. Right. And so every once in a while I get the twinge. But so she's like, do light weights for 20 reps. She's like, in like 18, 20 reps or 15 to 20 reps is what she said. And then, do that for a couple weeks, and then you start lifting heavy again. And then go back to like the 15 to 20 reps after a couple weeks. So I'm in the gym and I'm doing inclined bench press with dumbbells, and I have 250s in my hands, right?
Oh my
God. And
God.
I'm going, and I'm like 15, 16, 18, going 19, 20, and then, I'm like, it feels like I'm doing that many reps. It hurts. Like I feel the soreness.
Right.
And then this kid not a kid, but like a guy comes, sits down next to me with like fucking, he's got 70s. And like, it's almost like he's doing the same exact thing as me. And he starts putting them up. And like, I could see he's struggling a little bit, but like, and then I grabbed the 55s, and then I did my 15 to, I got to 18, because after doing 20 at 50, I felt it like right here in my sides, and in the side of my pecs. And like, as I'm doing it, I can see him, like I'm not looking at him, but I can see him staring at me. And then he goes for the 75s.
Oh, God.
So then I fucking put the 55s down, and I went for the 85s, and I fucking did the 85s. And then fucking the next day My fucking chest hurt so fucking bad.
Oh my god. I
I was
can
like,
only,
"Fuck this guy! I can." He's sitting here looking at me like
yeah.
I can't lift that much. I
Oh
was like,
my
"He's
god.
smaller than me. Like, come on now, you can't like." And he probably didn't think anything of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the fact that he just happened to look over towards me while I was
Right.
doing it, and he was doing heavier weight, I was just like,
Yeah.
"Motherfucker, I can lift. Like, I can do fucking 100-pound dumbbells right now if I wanted to."
Fucking pride and ego is a bitch, isn't it? Oh my
It
god.
really is.
Yeah, you're like,
It
I can
really
do that.
is.
Yeah. Look at me, like I'm 51 and I can beat all y'all's asses. And I'm like, yeah, no. No, don't work like that anymore. But I mean, saying that though, there's a kid that started our gym and he was only 21. He's been there a couple years now, so now he's like really gotten himself in shape and he's a total badass. And on Saturdays we do partner wads. And so my coach partnered me up with him, and I mean, I ran rings around that kid. That poor kid, because I was just like, look, okay, let me just tell you something about me, and I'm going to apologize right now, but I'm extremely competitive, and I do care about my time. So we are finishing this wad, And I'm like, am I going to do it in the time frame? And this poor kid's like, we're not gonna finish. I'm like, we're finishing this fucking wad. Go, And he's like, and by the time he's like on the floor like that, and I was like, good job. We did it, and we had 36 seconds to spare. And he's like, you're fucking insane. And I was like, yeah, but good job, kid. And then after that, he's like, I don't want to work out with her. But I mean, it's like
hilarious.
My mind goes fucking nuts when that time starts, and I'm like, I gotta be the fastest. I gotta be, and I don't lift the heaviest at all whatsoever at my gym, and I simply can't anymore. But God, I gotta be the fastest. And then if somebody beats my time, I'm like, that bitch. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And of course, I've chilled out now, and I have been going for 4 years now, actually coming on 5 years. And so I've chilled out now. I don't really do that anymore because, like, I can't. Like, I really did, like, screw my back up. Like, I blew 3 discs. And,
oh, no.
And it pushed out so far that it, like, pushed my sciatica where it was almost a U shape. And so if I move the wrong way, man, I'm in the hospital. Like, it's pretty bad. So, I do really have to be careful. So I've learned, it's humbled me. This last year has really humbled me. And I've really kind of taken a step back and understood, like, this is about your health now. This is about, your being strength, as in, keep strong so that you don't have to have surgery, because that is I don't want surgery. That's a life changer. And I don't want to go there. And so my spinal surgeon literally said, the only reason why you're not in surgery is because you do CrossFit. So do not stop, but God, take it down a notch, dude. It's okay, and you really need to kind of come to terms with that, it's okay not to finish, it's okay to not be the fastest. And so, yeah, he really kind of put me in my place, and I got really humbled. And then so I just learned to just appreciate everything, and then something I finally realized, through my little journey is, we always like joke around about the music in the gym and about, oh my God, I don't want anybody watching me. And then as soon as the clock starts and you start moving and you're just focusing on your thing, everything fades out. So it doesn't matter what the next person is doing and what that person is doing. And, the only time we ever look at each other is when we're all like, you still there? Yeah, we're still breathing. We're good, And other than that, we don't. And so I've learned a lot over this last year about, that whole, what you were talking about, not being in competition with another person, not, worrying about what they're doing. Just right now, I'm just focusing on my health. I'm focusing on strength in my back and just staying strong, because I do want to be a fit person for as long as I possibly can, and because I want to be around for my kids, I want to be, going back to what we were talking about before we started recording, conspiracy wise, if shit goes sideways, I want to be able to be there and do something and help.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of the community and not having to rely on anybody else, My favorite hashtag, chop wood, carry water. In other words, nobody's going to do it for you. You do it. Don't wait for somebody else. And so yeah, that's kind of part of my thing. But I did have to learn that. But and that's one thing I do like about being older is a lot of wisdom comes with age. There's a lot of me that just won't change no matter what, but there's a lot of me that's like starting to understand a lot of things, and it's just so funny how it takes this fucking long to start like understanding some things in life.
Yeah, it was like 32 was when a lot of my opinions started just like shifting on me.
Right.
And like my mind just started changing. And like from what I hear, like it's like 32, 33 for a lot of people when they start like realizing a lot of things about themselves.
Yeah.
And about what they really want in life and stuff. And that's like 33. So 32 was when like this like journey started. 33, I started the podcast.
Right.
And now it's been almost in like a couple weeks, two weeks, it'll be 2 years that I've been
Oh my God,
doing
that's
the
so
podcast.
awesome. I'm so glad that I get to be here and do this, and you can teach me some stuff, and hopefully, like I said, I'm not worried about whether I'm like successful or not. I just want to have fun. If I am, I am. If I'm not, I'm not. It's no skin off my nose because I don't need the money. I'm not doing it for that. I'm retired. I'm like fucking hell yeah. I'm good. Like I've worked my whole life. I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's like so now I get to finally just do some hobbies and do that fun stuff that you kind of couldn't do when you were younger, And so I'm really excited about that. But I do want to give a shout out, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. You can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, nice.
Just kidding. Do not give a shout out. You're not allowed to.
Okay, I won't.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, wait a minute, you just said I could do what I want. And I'm like, well, I kind of do anyway, so you don't have to tell me that, Kevin.
Well, fine.
Yeah, fine. But I just wanted to say, because there's a couple people in the background that are helping me, and that's EJ and Tim and Justin and all they're with a group. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're called Paranormal Connections. He does a bunch of stuff. He has his own podcast on Monday. And they're like pretty much strictly paranormal. So, whereas, you and I were like, conspiracy, yay. But he just does the paranormal. But he is such a whiz with all this stuff that I simply, if you were like, oh my God, my life is in danger unless you do this stuff, I'm like, I'm so sorry, Kevin. I'm going to miss you. Like, it's that bad. It's like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I'm like, it was nice knowing you briefly, but yeah, so he's a whiz at all that stuff, and so I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they're the ones that are helping me put all this together. They're kind of running the show while I learn everything and in the background, and and then they're the ones that gave me the platform to do it, and because I was on another podcast with some friends called hashtag Paranormal, which I'm giving another shout out to my buddies. They do every Wednesday night. They do a podcast, and that's all about paranormal and whatever. Yeah. I was on that podcast, but then I had mentioned about because I'm such a goofball, I just can't help it. I just like always always laughing and whatever. And so they were like, you should do that. You should do a funny one because that's just your personality. And I was like, I think you're right. Because like I can never be too serious for too long. And so they were like, yes, do that, it'll be so much fun. I was like, okay. And so I wanted to give them a shout out because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't know any of this stuff. And they are literally going to help me so that I don't break the fucking internet, because that's pretty much how it would go if I am left to my own devices. So I'm like super excited. And so, yeah, if you can, audience, whoever's watching, Wednesday night is hashtag Paranormal and Monday night is Paranormal Connections. And they run a house called Chestnut House up in Kentucky. where you can book a paranormal investigation and go. And this place is pretty damn creepy, man. It's got some really interesting history. And so if there's any paranormal teams that are like getting into it and want to try something out, I would recommend going there and giving it a try. So we went to an investigation with them. Oh my God, this is that brain fog that comes with age, because I literally can't remember shit.
Your name is Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm like, okay, snap back. Okay, no. It was a couple months ago. We went up to a place called Cornerstone Acres in Kentucky. Beautiful. They do weddings and all that stuff. So if you're up in Kentucky and you need a place to do a wedding venue, look up Cornerstone Acres. History is phenomenal. Like I think Lincoln's grandfather died on that property or something. I mean, yeah, and I probably got that wrong.
Oh.
But it is full of history. It is so gorgeous. So we went up there and did an investigation with them. And so really good people. He's got a huge team. And I'm excited. We're going up to do Waverly with them.
Ooh, I want to do Waverly.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, you have to. Am I allowed to ask where you're located?
You can't. No, yes, I'll tell you.
I don't know.
I'm located in Maine.
Oh, okay, so you're way far away.
Yeah. I was in Kentucky in November though.
Oh, really?
I was in Lexington for CryptidCon.
Oh, nice. Oh my God, that's so awesome. So it's not that far from Lexington, isn't it, Waverly?
Okay. Waverly, yeah. Because I don't know exactly where Waverly is. I've heard so many fucking stories, and I'm just like, I want to go there.
I think it's in. I'm gonna really offend some people here. Louisville. Louisville. Okay, did I say that right?
I'll say Louisville. It's Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah, they're gonna be like, you're gonna say it right. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like when I say New Orleans, and my friend's like, it's Nolans. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
It's clearly two words, not one.
I know, but when I said it, it's Nolans. I was like, okay, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Like I'm from New England, so like they have these, especially Massachusetts has these weird ass fucking names, and I can't say any of them.
Yeah, like Gloucestershire. You know, like Worcestershire.
What's this? Watch your sister, Josh.
Worcestershire. Oh my God, yeah. Now you got me going.
It's Gloucester.
Gloucester.
It's fucking Gloucester guy.
Yeah, see, that's the accent. I love that accent.
We're gonna go out on a fucking boat in Gloucester and get some lobster.
Oh my God, I love that. Do you want some coffee? I think that's great. I love that accent. But
yeah, it's interesting. I briefly dated a girl with a wicked bad Massachusetts accent, like 2 years ago.
You're like,
she was like wicked conspiratorial, but she was almost 10 years younger than me, and it was like really weird.
Oh, okay.
But she was awesome. She was phenomenal. She was into the gym. She was in the conspiracies.
Nice.
But then she was crazy.
Oh.
And I'm not saying she's crazy just because she's a woman or anything like that, and because she's young, but just because our first ever like little like argument kind of thing, she completely blocked me on everything.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like literally, I was just like trying to talk to her about my feelings, I guess. Right. And she was just like, what, do you want me to fucking coddle you or something like that? I'm like, no, I just want you to listen. Like I was like, no, I just want you to listen. I was like, so, and then I started talking, and then she started talking over me, and then it was like the fifth time that she did it, and I just stopped and I said, Jesus fucking Christ, can I talk? And she goes, go fuck yourself, and hung up on me, fucking blocked my phone number, fucking removed me from Facebook, and blocked me on Facebook, and I was just like, holy shit, like that was fucking wild, man.
That's harsh.
That was harsh. Well, that's all right, because that just like fucking, that was a huge red flag.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty like for a first time argument. Yeah. And that's what, I have to say that I'm very blessed, because my husband, he's so chill. He's really calm. Like, he doesn't, and he puts up with my shit. So, you got to give him a pat on the back for that, because he's just like, you're insane. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you find somebody that takes that just puts up with your shit, like that's the person that you need
Yeah.
to like
Oh,
cuff right away.
he totally does. He totally does. And I mean, and I'm not hopefully that bad, God, but but he is really patient, because
Yeah.
I get these harebrained ideas. I have like total ADHD brain where I'm just like, la, 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 I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to, la, 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 and I want to do it now, and he's just like, oh my fucking God, but he's just like, okay, honey, whatever, and just lets me get on with it, and then like this whole ghost hunting thing, and the way it came about. Because, like I said, I've had experiences my whole life, and I always just thought I was really weird and never fit in, so I just kept to myself and just shut my mouth, and I, when I watched that stuff on TV, I genuinely thought like you had to be a TV personality to be able to go ghost hunt. Like, I had no idea that you could actually do this stuff. I had no idea they had private investigations. I didn't know any of this stuff. And so when my friend said, hey, let's go do blah, 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 and I was like, what? You can, okay, and then so that kind of opened the door for me, because then I was like, all right, now I can start really being myself, if you like,
Yeah.
And then I started learning about all these things that I had pent up for years, because I'm extremely sensitive, and, I kind of, I am not psychic by any means whatsoever, but I do kind of get these like visions, if you like, of something. So, so like there's an instance where we were at an investigation, and there was this really oppressive, negative spirit, and he hated my friend, but I could feel that. I mean, he hated her. I mean, like, he wanted to put his hands around her neck and strangle her, like, and I could feel that.
Oh, fuck.
And I was just like, oh my God, dude, this, I'm getting really creeped out. And then when he came up to her and, like, was nose to nose with her, and I literally could, like, see his face, like, against her nose, and I could tell you detail, like if I did a sketch, I could detail what this guy looked like that's the kind of things I can see. But I'm not like I said, I'm not psychic. I could feel this stuff. And so anyways, like I and I could never and this sounds really strange, but like I really genuinely thought that there was something wrong with me. Like, I was like, why do I never fit in? Why do I always feel like an outsider? Like, I don't, I just don't like toe the line with other people. And so I just felt so abnormal. And so but I felt all these emotions from all these people coming at me at all directions. And so I didn't understand that until I kind of opened that door to the paranormal. And then I realized like what was going on. And I was like, well, damn, I'm kind of sensitive, and I'm like feeling this. Like, so like I go to Walmart and I'm just like, oh my God, all this negative, what's happening? And I'm not just saying Walmart, I'm just saying, in general, in public and in crowds, I just get this real anxiety going on. And like,
that's why you don't like people. That's why. Remember when before we started recording, and you're just like, all of a sudden I just don't want to be around people.
Right.
And like, I know like there's a lot of things going on that have led up to what is now, but like that could possibly have like a part in it,
I think it has a huge part in it. It's especially because I didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand, like, why do I not feel connected? Like, and it's not that I didn't have connections throughout my life. I did. It's just that I never, really, it's really hard to explain because I always wanted to be part of. So I was always trying to be something I wasn't because I didn't want to be left behind.
Same with me.
Right.
I can relate.
And so I'm always looking for like, oh, I'm this person, I'm cool, and then finally realize like I'm none of that, I'm none of that. And I started to understand that I was taking on everybody else's emotions, taking on everybody else's bullshit, their negativity or their excitement or just whatever. And so when I finally was like, okay, I got to shut it off, I just got to shut it off. and learn about myself. And then this ties into also that whole thing, like you said, spiritual journey. I started on this road of, okay, well, who am I? You know, apart from all this bullshit, you know, and taking on everybody else's personalities or, you know, whatever. And then I started to learn about myself, and then once I started to kind of understand what was happening, I was able to be just me, and then this it just opened up a whole new world to me, and I was just like, you know, I actually like myself, and I'm not a bad person, you know. I'm not, you know, all these things I was trying to be. I'm just who I am, and if you don't like me or accept me, I'm okay with that, because I don't need your affirmation for me to be okay, you know. But it took me a long time to learn that. Jesus, it took me way too long to learn that. But now
I
that I
feel you on
know that, I'm like, that's where I'm comfortable of sitting in front of and talking to you and going into locations and dealing with people, you know, and being okay with other people that don't have the same opinion as me, that don't think like I do. It's okay, you know. And I'm like, I can get along with anybody now, you know, because I've finally come to that of, I don't need you to like me. If you like me, great, that's a bonus, but it's okay if you don't. I'm okay today, you know.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel the same exact way. But I do want to dive into like some of your early on experiences that you said that you tried to tell people and they were like, "You're fucking weird," and you're like, "Oh shit, I should probably stop talking about it." But you know, I like to, as a rebuttal to people that call me weird, I just ask them why they aren't. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, and you know, so there's a lot of experiences I had as a child, and like, and because because I'm not psychic, but I would see things, and and I would tell people like a vision that I would see, like I would see like a person that was clearly not with us, and they were just like, what are you fucking talking about? You're so weird. Oh my God, get away from me, you know, and stuff like that.
yeah.
And so it was really harsh as a child to say stuff like that to people, and then they treat you the same way. And, you know, and I said like a couple of things to my mom, and she wasn't mean or anything. She just didn't understand. And she thought I was kind of making it up, you know, because, you know, I was a shitty child. I was definitely that little hellraiser rebel, you know, the one that was always in trouble.
Same.
And so my mom never knew like when I was being legit or not, because I was such a little shit, man. And so when I would say something, like she'd be like, "Oh my God, whatever," you know. And then I was just like, "Oh, okay." Or she'd be like, "Well, that's not true. Well, that's weird," you know. And so I just was like, I'm not gonna talk about it. But it's nothing negative on my mom. She just didn't, you know. I was a hard to get along with kid, and we didn't actually get along really for a long time. But I had this one experience, and this is not paranormal, but this led me on that, you know, path of, you know, intuition, trust what you're feeling. You know, when me and my sisters were young, we were walking home from school. We grew up down in Florida. And where we lived was a little beach town. It didn't even have paved roads. And it was still all like kind of sandy, beachy roads, you know. And we were walking home from school. And this blue car, and I'll never forget this car or this guy, pulled up to us. And he's like trying to get us into this car. Well, I, in my little 10-year-old mind, immediately saw our future. Like, I knew if we get in this car, we're dead. We're never going to see our parents again. Like, this guy's going to kill us. And I, like, saw visions, like, of what he was going to do. And so I knew straight away something. It was horrible. I can't even explain it to you. And I mean, I just flipped out because I saw us tortured, if you like. And I'm only, like, 10 years old at this time. And I've never really told this to a lot of people. There's people that know about this, obviously in my family too. I don't think they understand the extent of what happened that day, except that they knew that they were in danger because I pulled my sisters away, and I was like, run. And so we got out of there, and we had to like go around and through this yard and that way to lose this guy. And then we went and hid we had a screened-in porch, and the bottom, thank God, was aluminum. So we hid, and he kept driving by. And I called my dad, and of course, you didn't have cell phones back then, so you had like rotary phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I call him, and I'm like, "There's somebody trying to kidnap us." And he, thought I was joking. I'm like, "I'm not joking. You need to come home. This is serious." And he got home. He called the police. Well, the police caught this guy, and the stuff that they found in his car was exactly what I visioned would have happened to us. Yeah, it was horrific. So they arrested him, they impounded his car, all this stuff went down. I had to go down to the police station, I had to give everything. But now what I didn't say was that I had a vision that he was going to kill us, But I did tell him, like, oh yeah, I knew we were in danger, whatever. Well, then about 10, 12 years ago, I get a call from a detective in Florida. And I lived, way up here. And he's like, "Can you come down and testify against this guy? Because he got out of jail after the incident, what he did to me and my sisters." And he didn't even catch us. We got away. But he got out and just kept offending. And he ended up hurting some children. And so they flew me down to testify against this guy. And I did. I gave my testimony. And I told them, I knew immediately that if we got in that car, we were going to die, and I told them that. And, and they understood the seriousness of it. And this time he did get put away for life. But that's just like one of the incidents that, I just couldn't explain it. I mean, obviously your intuition, you're in danger, but the things that I saw was just frightening. It was absolutely terrifying as a child. I knew what was going to happen to us, like to see us dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's horrible, especially so young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say, like, just to speak on like that a little bit, like I don't understand why it takes so many repeat offenses to be put away for so long. You know what I mean? Like, especially when it's against children.
Right. And this guy, that was not his first rodeo of trying to get us, kidnapping us. And the fact that I had to go down there, as an adult, and this was only like maybe 12 years ago that I flew down there, and like, I'm 51, I was 10. Think about that, right? This guy's out there offending. And then they get him, and then I go down there to testify from when I was 10 years old as part of getting him away for life, finally, because he wouldn't stop harming children. I mean, how disgusting is that? Like, what is going on with our justice system that this is allowed? Well, if you want to go into conspiracy, I'll tell you exactly what the fuck is going on, but we'll save that for another show.
Yeah.
Because
it's interesting, too, though, because I have a similar story, actually.
Really?
Not like paranormal-esque or like vision-y or anything like that, but I think I was in 8th grade. I was walking home, so I wasn't 10. I was 13, maybe.
Right.
And so I was walking home. I walked home every day.
Yeah.
And it's only like, I think it's like 3 or 4 miles. Which, walking 3 or 4 miles as a kid is pretty long.
That's a long way.
Yeah, but I did it, I did it every day, especially after football practice and shit. So I'm walking home. I believe it's winter, so there's snow on the ground, and it's really cold. And I'm like walking like this down the street. And this is on like a main, like this is in like a very rural area, and it's a main road that's like a lot of people see,
Yeah.
You're not like weaving in and out of neighborhoods and stuff.
Right.
Like it's a main road that a lot of people use.
Right.
And this guy pulls over and he's like, get in the car, I'll take you home. And I was like, no, I'm good. And I was like, I could literally see my house. And I'm like, I don't need,
Right.
like, even if I needed it, like, even if I
Right.
wasn't this close to my house, I wouldn't have gotten this car.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, come on. He's like, it's cold out. He's like, just get in. And I'm like,
Mm.
no, I was like, I'm good. I was like, I literally live right here.
Yeah.
And he's like, get in the car. And I was like,
Oh
what
my.
the fuck?
Oh my
And then fucking, I
God.
was like, no. I was like, my house is right here. And I pointed at my house.
Oh
And then
no.
he threw his hands up like this and then fucking took off, like sped off, like
Oh my
peeled out. And I was
God.
like, what the hell? And at the time we were living with my aunt, who was a former corrections officer.
Right.
So I went in and I told her about it because she was the first person that I saw when I walked into the
Right.
house. I
Right.
told her, this really weird thing just happened. I was like, this guy fucking. I described the make and I can't remember the
Right.
make and model of the car now, but I remember it was like a beige color. And I remember certain like bumper stickers on the back of it. So I explained to her what the guy looked like, what the car looked like. She called her friends in like the state troopers or whatever,
Right.
and come to find out, this guy was a former teacher who of elementary school, I believe,
Oh
who
my.
got fired like for
Right.
doing shit to
Oh my
kids.
God.
And so like my aunt's like, you probably
Yeah.
she's like, next time don't tell him where the fuck you live. Just I
Well,
was like,
yeah.
well, I mean, he wouldn't fucking leave me alone and the house is right here. So
Right.
like to show
Yeah.
him, like I didn't want to, like he was getting aggressive. Like he was yelling at me to get in the car. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting in the car now, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah. That's so scary. And that's what it really pisses me off about these fucking people is that they prey on the innocence of children.
Yes.
Because kids are just innocent. Like a 13-year-old, you don't know that not tell him that your house is right there, you know? And it's like, and I dread to think if I wasn't there that day, if my sisters would have gotten that car or not, because they were younger than me,
Yeah.
and I think they were like 6 and 8 or something like that. That's pretty young, and I don't know. I mean, hopefully their instincts would have kicked in because again, a lot of that was instinctual. But man, God, I just dread to think, and the cops, I have no doubt that they believe what would have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, it really pisses me off, and these people taking advantage of children, and they're
Yeah,
so
same.
defenseless. And yeah, when we get into the conspiracy side, when I come onto your conspiracy Tuesday, yeah, we'll definitely get into that because I do have. I wouldn't say a theory because it isn't, but there's some really dark rabbit holes you can go down on that go way beyond of what the fuck is going on in this country, that
Yeah.
why are these offenders getting out all the time? Why are they allowing a lot of this stuff to happen? And, the whole thing of what like some of these assholes are doing of it's not pedophilia, it's minor attracted person. What the fuck is that? Okay, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just rename it. Oh, and let's not call it rape, it's underage sex. What the fuck is that then? Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the one that I care about the most is when it comes to children, and I will never
Yeah.
not talk about it when I hear about it. I always dive into it.
Yeah.
So like in the United States alone, almost 300,000 children go missing a year.
Isn't that number more like 800,000?
I think it was like 2
Okay.
years ago,
Oh, really? So
but
it's gotten
as
better.
in like the last 2 years, it has. I think. Well, the last time I read statistics, the statistics was on 2022, and it said
Okay.
like 200 and something thousand.
Yeah.
But yes, I do remember reading statistics
Yeah.
of 800,000
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
a
that's
year.
shocking. I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
that's insane. That's like
yeah,
that's
and
like
there's a statistic for Germany that's like I think it's like either 98,000 or like 113,000 children go
Oh
missing
my
a year. Now,
God.
Germany's like the size of a state in America.
Right, right,
So,
right.
what the fuck?
I'm like, yeah, it makes no sense. But and this is where you get dragged down that rabbit hole because, like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? But
Yeah.
and then there. Unfortunately, there's like, it's not just like this is your rabbit hole. It's like this. It just you go down one and then you find 10 more and then you find 10 more, and it snowballs. It's just nonstop. I mean,
Yeah.
and here's what I tell people because all the time they're like, "Where's the proof? Where's Because I'm like, "Oh, hey, they're friggin' satanic pedophiles, and they're like, "Oh my God, where's the proof?" And I'm like, "Okay, this is how I explain it to people when they want to concrete proof." I'm like, "I don't have concrete proof, but what I do have is I have a collaboration of a bunch of pieces of information that, like, if, for instance, you are being tried for murder, right? They don't have to necessarily have a body, but they have so many pieces of little evidence that they can put together that, they can say, well, we believe this is exactly what happened. And so what do they call that when it's when they don't have circumstantial evidence, right?
Yep. Yep.
So they have enough bits of little pieces of information that come together that they can circumstantially charge you and say, even though we don't have the smoking gun, we believe that this is exactly what happened, and we have enough little pieces to put together to prove it. And so that's how I explain it to everybody with these little rabbit holes. We might not have that smoking gun, we might not have the concrete evidence, but we have enough little pieces to put together to say that these people are guilty of this, and this. And this is what's going on. And so if they can do that for a murder trial with no body, believe me, I can give you enough little pieces of evidence to show you that it ain't right. Something's really wrong about this picture. And when it comes to all these crazy satanic pedophiles or whatever you want to call them, okay, all you have to do is just look and do a little bit of background and research yourself, and you're going to find abnormal things that just don't add up. Okay?
Yeah.
And then when they do add up, it puts enough together that you can say something is not right. Something's wrong here. And that, unfortunately, has taken over our schools, our judicial system, our government, the politicians. I mean, it is just a disease that has seeped into our society, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. You can literally be on any set of any movie or TV show and be in the presence of at least 5 of them.
Right. And when you start learning the symbolism and the little things that they do, that they are just that's their religion. When you learn that, and you can't watch anything without seeing it, and then you're just like so disgusted and turned off that it's hard for me to watch anything secular anymore. Like before I watch anything, I pray, and I'm just like, God protect me, and that's my personal belief. I believe in God. That's just me. You do what you got to do. But for me personally, I'm like, all right, I need your protection. I'm gonna watch this show. Don't let any of that nonsense into, you know what I mean? Like, protect me, because I want to still enjoy life. Because if I go too far, it starts enveloping me, and I don't want that to be me, because I am way too sensitive to be able to deal with all that, and so I have to put a hedge of protection over me to do just about anything, because it is everywhere. It's like my own little city that I live in. There's so much corruption. Oh my God, it's just mind blowing. And so I'm like, everything I do, I'm like, Lord, I'm going to ask you to please protect me, because I just can't with these people.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure. I speak on a lot of conspiracies, but with this stuff, like it You can talk about like certain groups that that we know of, and it always goes back to that.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing though, is if you want to find something, you always find the same group of fucking people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Always. It's like this big incestuous little group of psychotics, basically, is what they are.
They're
And
reptilian people, to be
oh my
honest.
god, yeah, God knows, yeah, but they are all. Whenever you trace anything back, you always find the same damn people, and it's like, what is your end game? Like, because I know you're not done with us, because if you were done with us, you'd end it. So you're not done with us. So what is the end game here? Like, where are we going here with this? Because I don't know if I'm an NPC. Hopefully not. But it's like,
I think you have too much personality to be to be honest with you.
yeah, I'm like, I know a lot of NPCs, but I mean, I just I just hope that it's just, we as a people, we do find that freedom from these individuals, because I don't obviously know everything at all whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think I only know about that much of life, but I do know that we're not supposed to live this way. This stress, the intense anger, just everybody always just living to not live, because it's just like work, pay, give your taxes away. And then if you're lucky, you get a week or two vacation a year, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is not living. This is just going through the grind, and I don't believe that this is how we're meant to be. And maybe we are. I don't know, but
well, I think that has a lot. All right, so we'll get into this on a Conspiracy Tuesday.
Okay.
But like, I think that I think that's why there's so much disease and shit, is because we're doing a lot of things that we're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that comes down to even like hunting and veganism. You know what I mean? Like all this and processed foods and stuff like that. We're supposed to be eating and drinking from the earth, but we got chemicals in the water that comes out of our faucet. So
I mean, but it's in the skies, it's in the soil, it's just everywhere. I try to grow my own food. If you buy certain soil, your shit ain't growing. Okay?
Right.
You have to go down to the local, gravel place and get soil from them if you want anything to grow. And then you have to watch where you're buying your seeds from, because they claim to be, heirloom and all this stuff. Oh my God. The last 4 years has been the most challenging I've ever had growing my food. I mean, it's just insane. And then, not to mention the modification of the weather, because I had pretty good success last year with growing my food. Some of it was just outrageous, didn't do well, and I'm just like, okay. But then my tomatoes did really good, and then I thought they were done, and then all of a sudden they sprouted back up, and I had like 100 beautiful big tomatoes. And then guess what happened? They sprayed, and then the next day there was such a frost, I lost every single one of them. And I'm like, so because they don't want you doing that. It's like the whole, like, I can my own food as well. And that, it just goes to that too. You should read the book that they put out of canning food, of how you're all gonna fucking die from botulism. And it's like, give me a break. How did they do this shit? Whatever years ago, they didn't even have refrigerators, but they all managed to survive somehow. And yeah, it just drives me insane. It drives me insane, because I'm just like, I teach a lot of my friends to can food because they're all worried, and they're normies, and they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, well, come over, I'll teach you how to do this shit, because you really should know how to do it. Because if you want to survive whatever's coming, you better know how to take care of yourself. And so, like, I showed them how to can food, and they're like, oh my God, won't you do? And I'm like, Jesus Lord, calm down. Okay, it's okay. Like, it's pretty hard to poison yourself when you're doing this. There is a process that food does go through, unless you're really doing something stupid. you can't jack it up too bad, you know. You do have to be careful, but it's just cleanliness, you know. Take the necessary precautions, do it cleanly, and you're good, you know. But I'm just like talking shit now.
That's all right. I have chickens, and
I'm so
so
jealous.
I'm gonna be using all of the their shavings that have been taken out of their coop and stuff, and incorporating that with my planting soil. So
Nice,
hopefully
yeah.
I'll see a better growth this year.
And your eggshells
Um,
too, right?
yeah, eggshells. I'm gonna go fishing here soon. Within the next couple of weeks, get some fish, put some fish in the ground
Yeah.
to boost that, and then copper rods, just random copper rods.
Yeah.
Stick it right into the ground next to your friggin' plant, and there you go.
Yeah. So
It should grow. There's
right.
something to copper, and ancient people knew this. Like there's
Yeah.
copper in everything
Yeah.
in ancient societies, so there's something to that.
I totally agree with that. And also, you know, it's like the whole, you know, shoes and, you know, look at all the people with feet problem anymore, right?
Yep.
And back problems and this problem and that problem. We go to the health of human beings. I mean, it goes beyond just the crap that people are putting in there, because everything in the store, unless you go on the outskirts of the store where all the produce is, and that's if they're not fucking poisoning that shit. But everything's just processed. It's not even food. It's just chemicals. So, but then you go to like the feet. I believe we're supposed to be grounded, you know. I think we're supposed to touch the earth.
Same.
Yeah, you know, and then you put these shoes on, and then everybody walks around with not hardly any contact with the earth for pretty much all day, right? And so it's like, you know, that's not healthy. And then the sun. I think that you're supposed to have sun on your skin, you know, and then they give you these chemicals to block the sun. You know, anything in a healthy dose, you know, is not. But yeah, we'll definitely save all this for the conspiracy, because I'm like, oh my god, there's like 1,000 things going through my head.
the more we're talking, the more I'm like I'm going there.
I know.
So I guess the last thing that I will say, speaking on the grounding thing, is I think that's why they're trying to corral us into cities.
Yes.
Because in a city, it's very hard to find actual earth.
Yeah, because you're on pavement. And then when you are standing on ground outside, has it been sprayed on? Because they spray all damn day long. And so, they don't want people moving out into the rural area, you know, and they've made it so difficult for people to do that. But then it goes back to the grocery store. You know, the grocery stores are only 40, 50, 60 years old. You know what I mean? People didn't have that before. They had to produce themselves. And so now, if you don't know how to do that and you don't live next to a grocery store, you're fucked. You know? And it's just so disgusting. It's like, oh my God, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, because we shouldn't be living like this. But we'll get into that.
If tales of ghostly hauntings, Bigfoot encounters, extraterrestrial interactions, and cosmic awakenings are your cup of tea, then join me, Eric Szilagyi, host of Uncomfortable Podcast, every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Make Uncomfortable your home for the topics that reside on the fringe of our reality. Eyewitnesses, researchers, and experiencers join me on a weekly basis to delve into their paranormal and otherworldly experiences. Heard in over 65 countries worldwide, follow Uncomfortable Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your casts. Uncomfortable is now presented in video form on YouTube as well. So, as always, my friends, stay uncomfortable.
On the Conspiracy Tuesday. So I guess we should go back to ghosts. Sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm like, Patriot, conspiracy.
What would you say has been like your most terrifying experience with the paranormal?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to when I was telling you about seeing that old man.
Yep.
That was definitely the most terrifying. I've never experienced anything like that. I've heard noises. I've heard voices. I've heard like my name called. I've heard all kinds of things that will make you jump, freak you out, but not this. Like we ran, and do you know the Paranormal Files? He's on YouTube.
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, anyways, he has a big YouTube following. He's a really cool kid. He's only like 27. He's young as shit, but he's a really really cool kid, and that's all he does, right? And and I'm a huge fan because he's worked so hard his whole entire life, and I met him and his family, and there's people that you meet, and then they're one way on camera and they're another way in real life. They're not like that. They're genuinely just good people, down to earth people, right? So anyways, so you'll see, I did an interview with him about this situation, and I was with this other team, and the woman who no longer talks to me, and so I'm like, okay. We were in this place. It's called the Garnett House in Garnett, Kansas. And so if any of your viewers want to go there, go for it. You can book it. But all I'll say to you is just be careful, because it's a genuine place. It's not like some of these other places where you might get a knock or two. This is genuinely got oppressive spirit of that cowboy dude. In real life, and let me just tell you this, Kevin, because I do not know 100%, okay? I really just don't. This is from what I've felt. And so history-wise, I couldn't tell you, but it was a brothel, because there's places everywhere back in the Wild West days,
Yeah.
And they did have really famous cowboys go through there, so I do know that. But I have no idea about this old man. I just know that he was mean, and he was just frightening, and he hated women, but he really hated my friends. And I mean, I can't even explain the just scariness, just knowing that. And so we were sitting there, and then she starts saying, I feel he's coming in the room. I'm like, oh yeah. And then she's like, I am so uncomfortable. And she started getting really nervous, and she's like, I think we need to leave. I was like, I think we need to leave, because that's when I saw him go nose to nose with her, and he was just, growling, like, and I like I said to you earlier, if he could put his hands around her neck and squeeze the life out of her, he would have. And thankfully, as far as I know, spirits can't do that. They can touch and all that, but I don't think they can kill you, hopefully. But anyways, she's like, yeah, we got to go. And so we stand up, and we're just about to leave, and then all of a sudden you just hear this, and it was so freaking loud. I've heard stuff, but I've never heard anything like that in my friggin' life. And it was so loud. And we just were like, we fucking take off running. And these stairs, the stairs in the old houses, they're so tiny, right?
Yeah.
And we had devices all over these stairs, man. We flew down them fuckers 3 steps at a time. We didn't hit one cat ball. We was just like, it was impressive. Oh my God, we were so scared. And she's screaming. I will have to play the audio for you sometime. And she's just like, because and like I laugh now, but at the time, man, we were so terrified. And the reason she was screaming like that is because she knew it was for her. I knew it was for her. This guy just hated her. And then as we're running, and of course, bless her heart, I was like, and she's the last one. And when we get downstairs, and she screamed from the time of the growl all the way downstairs, all the way until we finally got to the back door to go out of the house. Like,
damn.
Yeah. And she said he was grabbing at her heels as we're running. Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So here's the thing, right? I did not know at the time. We were just up there. We didn't bring any cameras or anything with us. So I, at the time, did not even realize I had left my little voice recorder rolling. But
shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't even with us. It was downstairs on a table.
Oh.
That's how far away that recording was. And you could hear the growl. That's how loud it was. Yeah, no shit. It was so fucking loud. And, I mean, it was caught on my recorder, which was downstairs. Yeah, and you can hear it.
Damn, son.
Like, when I play it for people, they're like, oh my freaking God. I'm like, yeah, imagine being there. It was so scary, my God. Thankfully, I've never had anything that outrageously scary happen since. But I haven't been back there except when I filmed the interview with the Paranormal Files. That was the only time I went back. And even when we were going through doing the interview, me and Colin were walking into a room and we had, you know, those old things that they would put the coal into the fire or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the thing they would heat up in the fire to, I think, put under the bed, actually.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, me either. I don't know. I know, right?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like round and it's on that long stick. It was up against the wall, and as me and Colin are walking into the room, it got thrown at us. You know,
Jesus Christ.
at that location. And then they said, you know, and you got to remember, these guys do this shit for a living, right? That's all they do. And they said that it was one of their top 3 in the world scary places.
No shit.
Yeah, so.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I know. And I was like, what kind of sicko do you need to be that you're just like, oh my God, I've never been so scared in my life, but it was the best thing that ever happened. You know? I'm like, I love it. Let's go back.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the human condition, but we really like, a lot of us anyway.
Yeah.
Like enjoy being scared. Like I like to be scared. Like if something can scare me, I'm just like, that is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Isn't it weird?
But like if it can't scare me, then I'm just like, oh, that was stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like scary movie.
Have you ever been on like a haunted walk?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a haunted tour, like down in Savannah and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so it's like a hayride thing, but it's not a hayride.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you have people dressed up in like as ghouls and goblins jumping out at you.
Yeah.
Me and my ex-wife, we were walking down a trail, and there was this big bright light just randomly in the trail.
Wow.
And I go, we're gonna get to this light, and somebody's gonna be standing behind it. Because they're going to be using the brightness of it for us not to be able to see them, and they're going to jump out.
Right.
And so we're like right there, and I'm looking, and then he jumps out, and he's like, roar, and I go, nice try, buddy, using the fucking light to blind us so we can't see you. And then we kept walking, and he followed us to try and scare us again. And I turned around, and I was like, you might want to go back to your light.
Right.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah. See, yeah, I know.
There's just a lot of things like that you know, like if it can genuinely cause like fear, like a movie can sometimes do, where especially when I'm alone and then I'm like in my living room and I gotta walk to my bedroom and I'm just like
yeah, you're like, please don't mind
something in the kitchen.
Yeah. And I have to say that apart from that incident, the only time I've been genuinely scared is when something has happened in my own house, you know?
Yes.
Because I have.
So what has happened in your house? Has shit happened in the house that you're in right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And not because my house is haunted, because my house isn't haunted, but I have brought something back. And,
okay.
And that was not cool. And I was not okay with it. Because this is like my one safe haven, you know what I mean? This is my...
Yeah,
my
I mean, I can't understand why you wouldn't be okay with it, but, you know...
Because it's like my one place to... Yeah.
No,
okay, you're being sarcastic.
No,
oh my God, that's cute. Okay.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
I didn't follow. I'm like, I'm slow sometimes, by the way.
It's okay. It comes with the age, I guess.
Like, Erin. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. I told you about that age fog, you know what I mean? You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, yeah, that's just the one place I'm like, no, not here, okay? But I have brought a few things back, which my husband is very unhappy about. He's like, do not fucking bring anything back. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I better not tell him about that. And then he's gonna watch this and he's like, what the fuck? But I actually did tell them because I was so freaked out by it. Because so we have separate living rooms because he watches his fucking shit I can't stand, and I watch my shit he can't stand, right? So we hang out, do our thing, blah blah blah, and then we come home and I'm like, all right, babe, I'm going to watch my ghost shows. All right. And he's like, all right, yeah, I'm watching my old westerns. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I come down here to watch my shows, and but when he goes in and out, I can hear the door open, and then I hear his footsteps, and then I always like, oh hey honey, whatever, and then we talk and whatever. And well, this one day I was sitting downstairs, and so I heard the door open, I heard it close, I heard his footsteps, so I was like, okay, let me go up and say hi and whatever, and hang out with him. Went upstairs, and I'm like, hey honey, and I went, oh, okay, he's going to the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, nope, not there. And I was like, oh, he's going in the bedroom, and then I go into our master bathroom, and I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get freaked out. And I'm like, he's fucking messing with me. So I go into the kitchen. He's not home. So then I was so freaked out at this point, I'm like, no way, he's fucking with me. So I go outside, and his truck's not there. So I'm like, okay, that's not cool, because that was like full on. I heard it. Like, I know I didn't just, oh, maybe because you can dismiss a lot of shit. No, I absolutely heard that. And it freaked me out a little bit, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, okay, not cool. I was like, yeah, if you're here, you cannot stay here. And then, so anyways, but nothing happened like after that similar. And then, but then we went to a location, and we came home, and this little girl followed me. And I knew immediately it was a little girl, and I knew immediately where she came from. And I have this little teddy bear that sits on a dresser, and it just fell over. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. You're welcome. You can have it. It's yours, but, we got to talk. I understand why you're here, but you can't stay here, And then a couple other things kind of kept tapping in, and I would hear something, and then that's when I heard, Erin. And I was just like, oh, shit, okay. And so I was like, well, I'm going to sage my house. And then I said, and there's a bit of a backstory with this, and but I don't really want to go into too much detail, because I wouldn't do that to people. But it was a location that we investigated, and it turned out to be really fucking weird. Okay, the people like freaked me out, like serial killer vibes type thing. It was.
Oh boy.
Oh, it was freaky. Let's just say when you talk about children, I got some vibes, and I was like, man, I'm not okay with this. I'm going. And I left super early, because I was like, I can't stay here. And she followed me back from that place, and I knew immediately why she did. And so I was like, but when I first saged, I said, well, you need to go back where you came from. You can't stay here. Thank you for visiting, but you can't stay here. And I thought that took care of it. Well, that night I was, trying to sleep in bed, and I could hear stuff, and I was like, oh shit, she ain't going. So I was like, okay. And then I realized telling her to go back where she came from wasn't going to work, because she didn't want to go there. She was scared of the people like I was, or that person anyways, not the people, the person, the one man. And so I knew immediately that she was like, I came with you for a reason, And so I was like, okay, wrong thing to say. So I ended up doing a prayer, and then I ended up doing some saging, and then I ended up just saying to her, look, I get it. I understand why you don't want to go back there. You don't have to go back there, but you can't stay here. I need you to find a safe place that you liked before, and I need you to go there, or go be with your parents or whatever, but you can't stay here, sweetie, And then that was it. It took care of it. But yeah, that was kind of freaky, because like, again, that was one of those things where I instantly knew something, you know what I mean? Like, something isn't right, something's kind of off with this. And like I said, I'm not going to put anything out there to give anything away out of respect for other people, not for that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah, that made me sad. It made me sad for her, but I'm hoping I gave her some peace, she didn't come back, and so she did move on the second time when I realized why she wouldn't go the first time, and so I hope it brought her some peace, and
Yeah.
and then the other incident I had, which was Colin sent me a picture from his investigation, and it was one of those ones from the old camera that they come out straight away and they develop immediately.
Yep.
And so I got that in the mail, and I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet, thank you, and all that, and I put it up on my mantelpiece, and then my dog about an hour later went fucking mental. And I mean, I've never seen my dog do that. My dog is so sweet. I mean, he will like chomp your ass if you like break into my house, but other than that, he's sweet as shit, And he just started going crazy at this picture, and I mean, growling, just staring, wouldn't take his eyes off it, just and then just like trying to climb up onto the coffee table to get to this picture. And I was like, what in the hell did you send with that picture? And I'm like, it wasn't him, but I think something attached to the picture. But anyways, it was really freaking out. It got to the point where I was like, because he did it, and then I would take him away. He went back, took him away, and I finally just filmed it. It's actually on my Instagram, and I filmed it because I was just like, what the hell is happening? Like, what? And so I filmed him going crazy at this picture, and then I had to sage and say, whatever the hell, you are not welcome out. You're leaving now. Open the back door, and I'm like, out. You're not staying here, dude. No. And so, yeah, and then after that was it. My dog never did that. Have never done that since. So.
That's interesting. My dog fucking freaked me out one time couple weeks ago. So I know like that feeling, like you're just like you're talking to them and they're like staring at something.
Yeah, you're like, dude, don't do that shit. You're like, what are you doing? But when he was growling, because he, like I said, he doesn't do that. I mean, like, seriously, if somebody were to like try to break in, he probably would do that, because he's very protective of me for one, but he don't play like that. But as far as mannerisms, he's he's a good dog, and he's never done that. So when he did that, and then he's trying to get up onto the coffee table, he never does anything like that. He doesn't get on the furniture like that, And trying to get up on to get to the picture, and then his eyes would not leave that picture. I was like, no, I'm not okay with that. I'm like, dude. That's like that, when the cat stares at something, you're like, stop. Because my cats have done that before, too. And I'm like, dude, please don't do that. I'm genuinely getting freaked out now. But, as far as haunted locations, that was definitely the freakiest. We've had some intense experiences. And Laura and Eric, who are, my teammates, they're amazing people. Just like the best friends you could have. We support each other, like just doing everything in life. They are conspiracy like me. So, yeah, just we're little peas in a pod.
Correct.
Yeah, and so we try not to, investigations, we don't really talk about any of that. We leave that outside of the door. But sometimes, that 4 a.m. delusional giggles, we start talking about shit. Oh, my God. And we just... Oh, yeah, we just start losing it. We start laughing. And we've wound up a couple of ghosts, though, doing that before, And then, we got some really relevant answer, and it was like Democrat, and it was like saying some stuff, and we were like, damn, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They clearly weren't happy with the way the country was going from what the answers we were getting. It was very relevant. It was interesting. It was really cool. And we were in a very heavily, they were totally opposed to kind of what's going on nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like anybody from a certain time before now, like if you get back far enough, like no matter what party they were on back then, like they would still not like what's happening now.
Yeah, I agree. Something changed along the way. which is like, we can get into that on the Conspiracy Tuesday because
Yeah.
it definitely changed along the way. It used to be you could have a conversation with people, and now
You
you
could,
just
yeah,
can't.
you could be
You know,
friends
yeah,
regardless of political
yeah,
affiliation, you know?
yeah. Absolutely. Like I literally have family members that do not talk to me. They don't tell me happy birthday. They don't tell me Merry Christmas. They don't talk to me because I think differently. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just thinking differently. It's not, so far anyways, it's still not a crime, but they just don't have anything to do with what I believe. And that's it's sad. It makes me sad, that people can get that insane about it because, it's like my daughter-in-law. I love her to bits, but some of this stuff, I'm just like, really, like, okay,
Yeah.
like, all right, dude. But we can have conversations. We talk about stuff all the time,
Yeah.
and then I say to her, well, I don't agree with that, but that's okay. You're an adult. You can think what you want. And she's like, she feels the same way, and so, we talk, and we love each other for that, and she's such a good girl. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff she believes, but that's okay. It
You know,
doesn't define her as a person.
yeah, right. I mean, if we all agreed on everything, this would be a pretty boring existence.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about the reptilians.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to set something up really soon, but I'm gonna have to have you come back and tell more ghost stories
Yeah,
because we're
I
approaching
know.
2 hours.
I know. I saw that. I was like, damn, man,
Yeah,
that's
it
kind of
flew by.
cool. Yeah, I think that's always like when you mesh with somebody and you can just talk, and then all of a
Absolutely.
sudden you're like, dude, it's been 2 hours. You're like, whoa. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
But
absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
we've been all over the board. We've gone a little conspiratorial. We talked about the
yeah,
gym and our ailments.
yeah, yeah. See, Noble,
No bull.
you need to sponsor me. I have like 20 pairs of your shoes, which my husband is not happy about because they are not cheap.
Oh, speaking of sponsors, I got my first sponsor
Yay!
just the
Yeah, who
other
is
day.
it?
So if you're interested, I don't know, how much do you like garlic?
I put it in food, but not enough to where I can taste it.
Oh, all
Like
right.
for
So
flavor.
this is, if let's see if you can see it.
So what does that say? Ooh, Bigfoot breath.
Yeah. So
Neat.
it's flavors of the forest, Bigfoot breath, raw garlic dust. I
Nice.
believe the website is hold on, real quick. I met him at this event that I just went to last weekend.
How cool.
Wicked
Dude,
nice
that's
guy.
awesome.
He sponsors another podcast too.
Oh my god.
So it's flavorsforest.com is where you can get some, and he has spicy garlic too. So he has
Oh, wow.
two kinds. So, and it's
I
like
love that.
it's like its purest form of garlic.
That is so cool. Okay, so flavorforest.com.
Yeah,
Okay.
flavors for forest.
Flavorsforest.com. Okay,
Yeah.
so anybody that is watching, go to there and get some garlic stuff because that's awesome. I love that, and I actually will get some because I love spices. I love putting spices on stuff. Not hot. I don't like hot spices. But
What?
and yeah, I know. Dude, my stomach.
Yeah,
Like I haven't
I
been to
hear
the
you.
gym in 2 days because of my stomach. So it's
I
like
hear you.
anything spicy, I'm dead. I was like, no, I can't do it. But as far as like flavor like that, I love it. Love putting on different seasonings. So I definitely will try some.
Yeah, I love garlic on. So I like it when I make my own pizza doughs and shit like that, or bread.
Oh, yeah.
Um, or just anything really. I'll fucking throw a little bit of garlic in there. And
Hell
I was
yeah.
at CryptidCon and I saw this on the other podcast table, and they're like, yeah, he's like, it's like real pure, so like don't put a lot of whatever you're putting it in
Right.
because you're gonna fucking taste it. Trust me. I'm like,
Right.
all right. And I tried it and I was like, oh, this is good. And then I ended up putting it in my hot sauce. So when I met him this past weekend, like he's telling me about his garlics and he brings me a bottle of it. And I was like, oh no shit. I was like, this is you. I was like, hold on a second. And I went to my car and I grabbed a bottle of my hot sauce because I was there to
Nice.
sell hot sauce. And I gave him a bottle of my hot sauce and I go, your garlic is in that. And he's like, what? I was
Oh,
like, yeah. I was like, I make my hot sauce with your garlic.
oh my God, that is awesome. Okay, so I need a bottle of your hot sauce too, because even though I can't really do spices, everybody else in my family can.
Okay.
Yeah, and they love it. I'm the only weirdo. I mean, I'm not, but you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have a more mild flavor that I just started bottling today, actually.
okay.
It's a,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, it's still pretty spicy, but it's blueberry flavored.
Oh God, yes. Okay, I want some of that. And so, and I will put like a little bit on, you know, because I do like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just
Right.
that it
It's just it
messes with
doesn't
my
agree with your
stomach.
stomach. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
But Eric, you know, the Billy Tolley, he's our tech guy because he's the one that knows everything about that stuff. But he loves it, so I will tell him. And so, where can I find your stuff to buy?
So it's gonna be going on my website of like here within the next month or so. So I will let as
Nice.
soon as it does, I'll let you know. And that
Okay.
it's where the weird ones are podcast.com. I
Oh,
just got to
nice.
figure out
Okay.
the logistics with like the shipping
Yeah.
and shit like that. So
Yeah.
I made it and I brought it to the event just to see like how it would sell or if it would sell,
Right.
which 9 out of 10 people that walk by, I'm like, "Do you like hot sauce?" They're like, "Ew, no, fucking, I don't like spicy." And I'm like, "All right, fuck you." No,
You're
not really, but like, I was like, "God damn it!" I was like, "I'm in the South. What the fuck?"
yeah, right. What's wrong with you people? Yeah, I understand that. Oh, that's right. But there's just for as many people who don't, there are that do because, like I
Yeah,
said, it would get used in my household, even though
yeah,
I don't. But when I like get a burrito or whatever, I'm like, because I want it on there. I just have to be careful,
yeah.
you know. So the only, I mean, I don't have anything to promote. I'm not selling anything, but okay. So I do make the snakes. So
Yes.
yeah, and so I take sticks. So if you're walking by and you see a stick that resembles a snake, you can think of me because anything that resembles a snake, I'm like, ooh, that'll be a good snake, and I pick it up and then I carve it, and I do all kinds of stuff. You know, I either paint it or I wood burn it or just sometimes just leave it because it's just so pretty. And so yeah, I make actual. I try to make it look sort of real, but not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I want it individual, but I do. I make snakes. So if anybody wants a very unusual present, and somebody's obsessed with snakes or a kid or whatever, I am your person. I can make snakes, and so yeah, that's what I do. I gave you a bunch of pictures, but
I want
um,
one.
yes, let me know what you want, and I will do you one. So what I've been doing is I've been trying, and I haven't been very successful just yet because it's winter and we haven't found any, but I've been trying to get a snake from a stick from every location that we go to, and I'm making a snake for each haunted location. So there's a place down here called the Haunted Castle House. I made them a snake. This thing is like 6 feet fucking tall, and he loves it. He put it in his haunted house, and then I made Colin of the Paranormal Files. I made him one. And then I made, gosh, I'm trying to think. I've made like four for locations, even though we've been to about 20. So I'm behind the times here. So I have a snake from Ashmore Estates that I still haven't completed, but so I'm doing there. Yeah, I'm doing one for them. And yeah, so I'm trying to do that for all these haunted locations that we go to and give them that as a present. But I will absolutely do you one. Let me know what you want. I'll make you one.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I'll have to get a day pass for your gym too and come down there and
Yes.
make you work out with me.
I would love that. Dude, I'm gonna run rings around you. I'm just giving you a fair
That's
warning.
totally fine with me. That doesn't bother me. I'm competitive, but I'm not that competitive.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not, sort of. I mean, yeah. I can't help it. There's something happens in my brain when the clock goes, and I'm just like, oh, it's on. Let's go. But of course, within my reason, because my back is such an asshole that, like I was telling you about,
Yeah.
middle of a wad, I'm having a scale. I was like, God damn it. Or my coach will come over and he's like, that's not a proper form. I'm like, you're messing with my time, dude.
Hi, motherfucker.
but anyways, I would love to work out with you. How close is that from Virginia? How much of a
From Virginia?
Yeah, where you are.
Oh, I'm in Maine.
Yeah, I know, but like, how long would that take you? I'm only asking because my mom lives in Virginia and I go to see her a lot.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Virginia's like 10 hours.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it's not. I just drove
Shit,
through
I
it.
gotta drive 16 to see her.
I just drove through it like literally this past weekend.
Oh my God! See, and so yeah, well, I'm going in July.
Okay.
So maybe we can meet and do a haunted location, man. That would be so cool.
That would be cool too, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going, well, I don't know if I'm going yet, but I do want to join 305 Paranormal at Gettysburg in July at some point.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if I'm actually gonna go. I do want to though,
Right.
but we'll see how things are going.
Yeah.
So,
So any paranormal teams out there, please, if you want, you can invite me. I'm not always this goofy. I actually can be a good investigator, I swear. I'm like, I don't always laugh on every. I do get serious when I have to be.
Right. Well, that's good. That's with any like actual good person that like knows what they're, how to carry themselves is they know when to be serious and they know when it's time to goof around. And a podcast is definitely a good spot to goof around.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to do my it's called the lighter side of paranormal.
Absolutely.
And the whole point is we are going to do the goofy side.
Yeah.
We're going to, stay away from the negative. This is just for the fun, lighthearted, the bump that you thought was a bump, but it was actually, your friend and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so, we're going to focus on just the funny side of it. And so.
Real quick before I stop recording, but do you guys have a YouTube for your investigations at all?
We do. It's Patriot Paranormal. Our little thumbnail is the three of us with the Betsy Ross flag.
Yep.
So you can find us because I know that there is another Patriot Paranormal, but I think they're in Arizona or in Missouri. But like I said, there's the three of us with the Betsy Ross flag, so you can find us. We do have a YouTube, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't post a lot. I don't do videos. I only do when I do post, it's just clips of stuff that we think we've captured. Because I'm not trying to be a star and like I'm too exhausted for all that shit. So I just post clips of, if we think we've captured something, we'll put it up there. But I'm not very active on it. I am very active on Instagram. And the only reason being is because my old ass is the easiest one for me to work.
That's why I'm so active on Instagram, to be honest. I can't figure out Discord. Well, I mean, I can, but it's just like like ridiculous. I can't, like, I don't want to, I guess. Twitter, I tried to do Twitter back in like 2012 and I was like, I don't fucking get it. So I just never tried again.
And it's very toxic on Twitter, so I stay away from it.
Yeah. And then Threads just came out and like I forget about that one all the fucking time.
I don't even know what that is really. I just have these invites.
It's basically Twitter for Instagram.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like essentially it feels the same as Twitter to me.
Right. And that we have Facebook, so we are Patriot Paranormal on Facebook. Laura runs that. I'm not allowed to because I spend 90% of my time banned on Facebook. So I'm like, so I'm not allowed to run it because when I get banned personally, we can't as a group post anything. So she had to take over and run it so that we could actually stay.
That's awesome.
And I'm not even joking. I caught a band the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Dude, I don't even post on here anymore because you fuckers. And so, and they banned me from a post from 2017, and I'm not joking. No, seriously.
What?
Yeah, my fat boy was like, fuck you. And so he's like, banned. I'm like, what did I do? And so I was just like,
What
so
the fuck?
I put a post and I was like, eat it, fed boys. And so, yeah, and they were like 30-day. I was like, okay. And then so I argued it and they said, okay, well, we'll only ban you for 5 days. I was like, oh, you're so generous. Thank you. I just so appreciate that. And so then I couldn't post anything. And Laura's like, God damn it, what did you do? And I was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm taking you off.
They shouldn't be allowed to fucking ban you.
They shouldn't, obviously. It's like completely against the law and unconstitutional, but hey, that's another Tuesday. Like,
yes.
because that is unbelievable. But yeah, so they had to take me off of all of that stuff. So that's why on Instagram I strictly say paranormal, because that's the only thing that I can actually do with my old brain, and I don't want to get banned. So I behave on there for that reason, because yeah, everything else they're like ban. So
shit.
yeah, Twitter, I'm like, I only go up there to check on my rabbit holes. Other than that, I stay off of there. And then, yeah. So there you go. But yeah, if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can be my 14th subscriber.
Yay! I'll have to go subscribe.
I would love that. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think I posted anything on there in like literally about 5 months. I don't know.
Oh,
I go on there. I really only go in there to watch Colin shit, the paranormal files, and then all the ghost shit. But other than that, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I should do stuff, but like again, like the podcast and hanging out with you fucking cool people, like that's all I'm interested in. And
yeah, same.
Going to the gym and regaining my.
You got to get those freaking traps back.
Yeah, I know. You can't see anything. I'm not even going to show you.
You're wearing a hoodie anyway, so you wouldn't be able to.
Because I'd blind the shit out of you. I'm so white right now. Like, yeah, I need sun so bad, but it's been so, it's been cold. It's only just warming up now, so.
Yeah.
But, my husband said to me, he's like, I have never seen you not tan. Like, this is weird. I was like, yeah, thanks, honey.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I had some skin cancer, and so I have to be kind of careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I get you.
Yeah, so I'm really like, I go in the sun because it is good for you, but you moderate it,
Yeah, of course,
Anyways, all right, I won't keep you. I know.
You're totally fine. You're totally fine. But yeah, everybody listen. That is the show. Please go check Erin and her team out, where all the places that she just stated, Facebook, Instagram. She's mostly active on Instagram. She's the one that runs the Instagram. And then
that's the one I'm allowed to. Yeah.
Yeah. She keeps getting banned on Facebook. So, if you want to talk to her specifically, it would be the Instagram.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to be on my show, please message me. And Instagram is probably the best way.
Yeah, that's the lighter side of paranormal or haunts. Paranormal.
Lighter side of paranormal podcast.
All right. I look forward to that as well. I will promote it too when it comes out. So, but other than that, please follow, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Leave a rating or review if you feel so inclined to do so. If you don't, that's totally fine too. Again, I'm only here for the conversations. And if you enjoy listening and watching, then that's just a plus. Yes. So you can also leave a rating and review on the website. That's where you also can get the merch. And stay tuned for the hot sauce that should be hitting the website fairly soon. Patreon, weirdos only. Again, you don't have to subscribe to that, but if you want to support the show in a different way with your finances, it's only $5 a month. Not all that expensive, but again, if you decide not to, it's not going to hurt my feelings. So, With that,
It'll hurt mine though. I'm joking.
with that, please show Erin and her team some love, and remember, everybody, question everything and stay weird.
Everything.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky. When the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish.